Alrighty, so yesterday we covered the overall best free-to-play units within Dokkan Battle. We kind of went over like 7 or 8 of the best individual characters that fit into specific roles on teams and could kind of help you round out your squad that you're rocking with. But today, what I want to do is cover the best overall free-to-play teams. Now, these are not ranked in order 1 to 10 or anything like that, but I want to go over a whole set of teams here. I think I made about 10 of the free-to-play teams that are very good and pretty obtainable. I do think that there are a few LRs in here that are going to be a little bit tricky to get, but there will be alternatives offered for that. We can kind of just take a look at it together. So, with all that being said, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like and let me know if you are using any of these teams in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first two, which are the most obvious. We talk about these in almost every single free-to-play video, but I just want to get them out of the way. The free-to-play Team Bardock, as well as the free-to-play Ginyu Force. Now, for the free-to-play Ginyu Force, you may be noticing that Raccoon is missing, and that is if you have the Battlefield LR Captain Ginyu. I think that this is the better iteration of the team. So if you want to go pick up Raccoon and slide him on the squad, that works out just as well, and you are going to be in fine shape here. And then for Team Bardock, that's going to be the same setup, right? These are the two best beginner squads in the game. Very easy to farm up, very accessible. Nothing that you really need to be worrying about too much, right? These teams are going to work very well, and that is how we are going to be able to take advantage of it. So there you go. The first two teams that we have, Team Bardock, Team Ginyu. If you need any help farming these down, with these two guides are on the channel with the revamped version of this event. So let's go ahead and move on to the next team down here. I don't want to spoil too much so far, but this is going to be more of a future saga kind of time travelers based setup here, based on a superclass Vegeta blue leader. If you guys don't know, he leads superclass Key 4, attack and defense plus HP attack and defense plus 120%. So here is the lineup that we are working with. I think that Int Trunks is a little bit tricky to the second Int Trunks is a little bit tricky to kind of squeeze into the team because I was just trying to find options for Future Saga or Time Travelers, and that was the best option that I could find, but if you have another one, I'm sure that works just fine as well. What we have to remember with these free-to-play teams is their role is to not come in and dominate as a pure free-to-play team. Their free-to-play units serve more as team filler than they do just like an individual squad that you're going to be running everywhere. So I think that these 6 units are complemented on a better team more than they are to be ran together. But I do think that there are some very high potential options here. Obviously, STR Vegeta Blue is a good stacker, and then Trunks and Broly are also very high powered as well. And then another thing you can keep in mind is Int base form Trunks in the Saiyan armor is also very good as well. And then we also have a Prime Battle EZA for Prime Battle Trunks, very good character that you want to make sure that you have on the squad. And then the STR free-to-play Trunks is going to work out just fine as well. So there we go. This will allow us to use like a Trunks and Vegeta leader, a Tech Zamasu lead, an AGL Zamasu, or an AGL Vegeta Blue lead. This will help us out with doing something like that, and I think that this team is going to work out pretty well for you. So the third team I have on here is a setup for Future Saga. Let's go ahead and move on to the fourth setup that I have here, which is going to be a Wicked Bloodline version. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you're going to have to get the free-to-play Metal Cooler setup, which can be a little bit tricky, especially if you were like brand new to the game. But these are just teams that you can also work for, not ones that you're just going to have to get out the box, right? Free-to-play characters, one thing that you have to remember is that the game does make you grind for them, and that is going to be the case here, where free-to-play Metal Coolers EZA is a little bit tricky, and then Prime Battle Frieza is a grind in himself as well. But here's like a setup. This one is, like I said, probably not the most accessible free-to-play team in the game, but it is still a free-to-play team. The Wicked Bloodline, we have Cooler as well, or Metal Cooler, Final Form Cooler. We have Int First Form or Final Form Frieza, who is very good against Goku family enemies. And then we also have First Form Frieza from Dragon Ball Super chilling over there as well. And finally, King Colt and Mecha Frieza. That is a Battlefield LR that you can acquire. I don't have them rainbow because I just haven't put them in quite just yet. So still got some grinding to do, as you can see myself. But this is a nice little Wicked Bloodline setup that you could run. I think this is a decent free-to-play team that's going to have a lot of synergy together. So far, you can see with like the number there on the bottom, this is going to be the most, I believe this is Lynx, right? Yeah, so Lynx, that's the highest that we've seen so far. Now, moving on, we have the free-to-play Metal Cooler setup. Now, again, taking advantage of Metal Cooler being in the Wicked Bloodline, or being that Battlefield LR, he also, to complement, has a free-to-play team that works very well with him. It's like akin to the Ginyu Force and the Team Bardock setup. The difference between this and the Team Bardock kind of build here is the fact that this setup does not have as many, what's it called? It's not as like easy and streamlined to grind up. You do have to go through the events and farm them in a similar way, but it's not just going to be like as clear and linear as, you know, the last couple grinds have been with like Team Bardock and stuff like that. But this one is pretty simple. You know, you buy LR Metal Cooler from Battlefield, you work them up, right? And then you go farm up all of these metal coolers and you should be good to go. Now, one thing I forgot to mention before we move on, because so far we've covered 3 different teams, right? I should probably tell you guys where you can be getting these characters, right? What you want to do, if you want to just like, you know, not like look at this specific video, a tool for future reference, if you go to the Dokkan wiki, when you click on a character's kit and you go to their SSR version or something like that and you scroll down to the bottom, it will say acquired from, right? Vegito and Trunks and Broly are obtainable mostly via Incredible Gems, especially Vegito Blue, but Trunks and Broly, you can farm up the SSR, I believe, and then the medals you're going to have to get Incredible Gems. Trunks comes from a Future Saga story event. AGL Prime Battle Trunks comes from his own Prime Battle. Trunks comes from another story event from the Future Saga, and then it's going to be the same thing with Trunks. He comes from another event, and then you EZA him via the Hero Extermination Plan, Extreme Z area. Now, with Metal Cooler, he is a Battlefield LR. Mecha Frieza and King Cold are Prime Battle LRs, or not Prime Battle, they are a Battlefield LR as well. Prime Battle Frieza, you farm up via a Prime Battle, and then you EZA him via his EZA area. You have to farm up specific characters to get him. Final Form Cooler, Frieza, and Frieza are all in corresponding story events that are in the game. If you look for it, you will find it. Very specific story events that you need to do for these, but they are very accessible and easy to farm up. Now, with the Metal Coolers, this is going to be the same case here, where Metal Cooler is a Battlefield LR, and then the 5 Metal Coolers corresponding are going to come from a specific story event that you farm up Metal Coolers from. Usually, like I said, the telltale is either the enemy that they face, or it's just straight up low, like you'll see like Metal Coolers on the picture for it. That is usually where you are going to go to find characters like this. Now, moving on. This one is a superhero setup. Now, it's super class, but what we are doing here is trying to take advantage of Beast Gohan, running a Beast Gohan friend lead, right? That's kind of the whole idea here. So I just assembled some of the best superhero free-to-play units that I could find. You know, Trunks is going to work fine with like Gohan because they're both Super Saiyans. Gogeta will work out with Vegito because they're fused warriors. And then you could run like Beast Gohan with like Trunks or Superhero Gohan. That would probably be one of your rotations. And then your floaters would be Master Roshi and UI Goku because they have dodge chance, right? That would kind of be like their claim to fame, right? So that is something that you can do. Now, when it comes to where to farm up these characters, Vegito Blue, we already talked about him. He is a whole separate guy. Like, he's a whole separate thing when it comes to farming him up. Master Roshi, you get from a specific story event. It's like a 3-stage event. It's like a Turtle School themed event where it's mostly themed around him, Goku, and Krillin. You farm up that guy. He's really easy to Extreme Z Awaken. And then we have Superhero Gohan, who's going to be the same case. He's from the Superhero Story event. I think that it might not be live now, but it's definitely in the Portal of Memories. Physical UI Goku is in one of the Reps of Universe 7 or Tournament of Power story events. Gogeta is a login bonus during the 9th anniversary and stuff like that, so he was pretty easy to do. So if you played during the 9th anniversary, you have him. And then Trunks, again, you farm up from a free-to-play story event. Now, moving along, we have, I believe, a few more here we got to go over. I'll just show these two at the same time, I guess. We have the Dragon Ball Saga team. This one, I will say, Yamcha and Puar are going to be like a character that you probably can replace because this is a World Tournament LR, and if you do not have them, I completely understand that. But all of the other characters on this list or on this team can be farmed up via their own respective events, being, you know, story events for Goku and Arale, as well as both of the Bulma units, and then Yamcha as well. And then the LR One Piece is farmed up via the same thing. There is an event for them. So Goku, Bulma, and Krillin. They are in Pirates as their as like an alternate art that pops up, so that's why we call them that. And then Yamcha and Puar can be replaced. The issue with that is if we filter it specifically by the Dragon Ball Saga, you kind of run into a lot of issues where like a lot of these LRs are from the World Tournament, right? And then Bulma herself, the STR Bulma, is summonable, right? So Roshi, Demon King Piccolo, you know, the Wheelo's gang, or not Wheelo, Pilaf's gang, Goku and Bulma, they're from Super Battle Road, so I didn't want to include them. And then we have Tao, who's Super Battle Road, but like you can still see there's options here, right? Like this Jackie Chun is free to play, right? This Roshi is free to play. He comes from the Baba shop. This Bulma is free to play. Still plenty of options here. This Grandpa Gohan is free to play. A bunch of different options that you can run on this team, but I think if you want to go for the optimal setup and you do have this Yamcha and Puar, this is a character that can work very well on this team. So Dragon Ball Saga, mostly just to take advantage of Yamcha and Puar, as well as LR, Goku, Bulma, and Krillin, I think can work out very well. And then Yamcha, when he has a Bulma around, he is a much better character. So keep that in mind. Now, last but not least, I have 3 more for you here. This is going to be a Goku family setup here. You guys can see we have April Fool's Day Goku, Version Z Goku, Yardrat Goku, Goku and Chi-Chi, the physical UI Goku that I mentioned earlier, and then Prime Battle LR EZA Gohan. Has he EZA'd yet? I think he's EZA'd, yes. So again, Goku family team, just a very wide array of characters that you can use. You can mix and match based on the ones that you may have already. This is the one that I just quickly cooked up because I didn't want to use one of the Super Battle Road LRs that potentially would give you like a Super Class 120% on this specific setup. So that's a Goku family setup. Here is a Vegeta family setup with a 1 Super Battle Road LR, but you can replace that Trunks on the end if you want to. We have Prime Battle, EZA Vegeta. We have Super Strike, Base Form Vegeta. We have the Future Saga Trunkses that we talked about earlier. And then Vegeta and Bulma, who came from a 7th anniversary event akin to that Goku and Chi-Chi. Basically the same thing. You farm them up in a similar fashion. So Vegeta family team, again, wide array of characters that you can use. Vegetas, Trunkses, and stuff like that. Now, the last one on the list. I realized I made my list and I was like, wait a minute, I don't even have the best free-to-play character on here. So here you guys go. This is an uncontrollable power setup that makes Bio Broly look decent. And then what you're going to do, I guess, is run a what's it called? Take advantage of an int Broly friend lead, right? That's kind of the setup that you want to do with this character. Like I said, you're going to have a, you just want to have Bio Broly cooking, right? Like, this team's okay, right? We have Friend Summon LR at 17 and 18, Bio Broly's Prime Battle. We have the Bobbity, who you were able to farm up during the 8th anniversary. We have the other free-to-play Bio Broly. We have Super Strike Android 16, and then we also have the Great Ape Vegeta, which you could farm up from a story event as well. So, there you go. Keep in mind, there are a ton of free-to-play teams in this game that you can set up and run accordingly to different events, but I know that the way that this game works is it's going to be tough to farm up every single character in this game. So I tried to make a bunch of teams here that were fairly accessible. With Super Battle Road LRs, you could just ask, like, what team, I don't have this character, what would be a good alternative for them in the comment section below. But there you have it. Some of the best free-to-play teams in Dokkan Battle as of October 2024. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like as well as subscribe if you are new, so that way you don't miss out on any of the fun Dokkan content we're posting around here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.